22 years ago this month, I opened up this law office, and I have to tell you that prior to making this decision, it had never occurred to me to own my own business, much less a law office. To say I felt called to open this place is an understatement, as Ronnie remembers. My heart was tugging at me to create a new and different type of law firm in Lake City, but I couldn't imagine having the resources to actually set up a viable law office. And I really wasn't so sure that Lake City, Columbia County, North Florida was going to accept a female non-native as a lawyer in this community. There weren't really any in private practice when I moved here. So it did take a leap of faith. But what I did know was that my deepest desire was to practice law in an area that really helped families. And that families that are totally and irrevocably committed to one another. And as much as I hated it at the time, at my previous law firm, I did a lot of divorce and child custody matters. It was actually a blessing because it taught me what I did not want to do with my career. So I look back on that now and I say, okay, thanks, Lord. That was what that was all about. And as I was getting to know myself at that early part of my career and what I wanted to do with my life, I also recognized that I wanted to work in an environment that celebrates the strength and the abilities of women, and that fosters their growth and fulfillment and gives us all an opportunity to really create balance between our work life and our family life. That is the reason that we're open 4 days a week, so that we have 3 days a week to spend with our families. So after many, many months of prayer and long heart-to-heart discussions with Dan, I took a leap. As with most businesses, we've had our hills and we've had our valleys. As some of you may remember, in 2005, I was thrown from a horse and broke my back. Peg and Jim remember coming down with Dan to Orlando to get me back up here out of the hospital. I literally came within a cat's whisker of paralyzing myself from my waist down. It was that serious. But through a lot of work, I managed to get myself rehabilitated. And that was a hard time in our practice, though. I had to shut this practice down for a few months. But Angie and I came back after a few months, and we started back up. At that point, we told ourselves we were only going to work 3 days a week. And very quickly, that became 4 days a week. And Shanna joined us shortly after that, and we actually made the law firm stronger than it was before. It just kind of gave us a new lease on life, just starting back from the beginning. We've gone through a few name changes before settling on Morgan Law Center for Estate, Elder, and Legacy Planning. Although we refer to our firm as Morgan Law Center, not to be confused with Morgan & Morgan, who we get calls for daily. Each word of our name was thoughtfully chosen and has deep meaning for us. And as many of you also know, we survived my parents' failings. They started to decline very significantly in about 2009. My mother started declining seriously mentally. My father started declining mentally and physically. He ultimately died in 2010. My mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. That was a really difficult time for this law firm because I wasn't here a lot. I wasn't here physically and I wasn't here emotionally. So it was a financial crisis that, through God's help and Angie and Shanna, we managed to get through. So I'm very thankful for that. And of course, the silver lining in all of that was that I felt called to expand my practice to elder law. And it has been such a wonderful and just fulfilling experience to be able to help families navigate through the decision to put a loved one in a nursing home and help them feel some relief that they're going to be able to handle it financially and that their assets are not all going to be gone, because of the fact that the loved one has to go in the nursing home. So that's just another silver lining that came out of, all that bad stuff. How did all this come to be? 3 years ago, I had to make another huge decision. I was feeling more and more called to spend time with my sweet little granddaughters that live up in Virginia. I've always tried to have a balance for myself and my team members between their family and their work. And I wanted to be able to be there for my granddaughters as they were growing up. I was a single mom through law school. I didn't get to spend nearly enough time with my son, and I didn't want to do that again with my granddaughters. So typical Teresa, instead of just slowing down and cutting overhead and having all of us kind of work part-time, I decided to expand the law office and hire another attorney. So again, that was just, it was a really hard decision, but God placed an attorney in my path, Roberta Getson. Where's Roberta?
She's right here.
Come on out here, Roberta. God placed Roberta in my path, who not only has the academic qualifications to be an excellent estate planning and elder law attorney, but more importantly, she has the heart. And that is such a gift, because I would never want to leave this practice when I leave this earth with someone who didn't have the heart to do what we do here.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.